we'll just kind of fill in more into ourselves.
Right.
But I think those are the people I really truly gravitate towards, are the people who are just 100% them, and they're not apologetic about it. They're just like, you know, they're not mean or rude, just
no,
this is me. Yeah.
So now I'm gonna flip that back to you. You know, so like, who do you picture yourself being? And then also, how is it that you want to be perceived, or how do you think you would be perceived once you?
I am her.
Yeah, once you're her.
Yeah. I think I want to be, I think I see her being someone who is more relaxed and non-performative. And I'm never not authentically myself.
Right.
But I definitely can turn on a level of like, almost like extroversion, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
you bump the wattage up a little bit.
Yeah, because generally I do get drained from social interactions, but when I'm around other people, I'm comfortable to interact with them, and I've been mistaken a few times for being extroverted because of that. So I think that part has always been almost like not a sore spot, but like a insecurity for me, where I'm like, you're not the funniest person in the room, you're not the like necessarily like the life of the party, you know, and I feel the need to kind of give myself more in that area. But I think just owning the fact that I'm truly basic and simple like seriously, I don't necessarily want to be the life of the party anyway. So why was I in these situations almost like feeling bad that I wasn't? So I think she's comfortable to be kind of herself in the sense of calmness. Like she doesn't have to be performative for anybody. Like she doesn't have to dial up or dial down. Like I think she would accept, and I would accept, that I'm just a little bit more quiet, a little bit more, because I'm a big observer when I first meet someone, and I think that just comes from my nature of like, you know, just giving people the space they need to be themselves. And so she would do that. She would give people the space to be themselves, but she would also give herself that space to just be quieter and to not have the joke and to not get the reference, because that's I'm not the person who will get all the references.
Neither am I.
I'm really not. I think I'm worse. I'm probably worse.
Really?
I might be.
Oh.
This is why we're friends. I keep saying. So it's like owning that. Yeah. I'm not into pop culture too much. I'm not into the, you know, mainstream as much. Like, that's just it. And being okay with that. So she would definitely exude that sense of self and being calm. So I see her just being calm, cool, collected, confident in that sense. And then how people perceive me, I think just that same general sense of like, oh, I don't know, something about her is very comforting. Like comforting to the sense of they can be themselves around me, because kind of like we talked about, when someone's themselves, they give you permission to be yourself. Because maybe a lot of times, like me trying to amp the ante and like bring more light to the party makes someone else feel like, well, they got to bring their more extroverted self.
We do like to one up each other as people,
or at least like
match.
Yeah, and it's like, well, what if we're both just like, we're really here, you know, to try to get ourselves out and to like kind of meet more people and interact, and we're not trying to do too much. And what if that's both of our energies? And if we both kind of knew that, we could just relax and let it happen naturally. Like maybe it would become that kind of life of a party type of situation. But naturally, like letting it happen on its own. So yeah, I think that would just be it. People feeling comfortable and knowing that, oh wow, she's very like, she brings peace wherever she goes, you know? I think that would be it.
Yeah, I mean, and kind of like what you said to me, and I'm not saying this just to tell you this, but like I genuinely feel like you're so close to that. Yeah. Because like, that's how I feel when I'm with you.
That's awesome.
You know, like you just come, like when we hang out, you just come as you are. Like we're honest with each other. We're like, hey, I want to hang out, but we're not going to party.
Pajamas and TV kind of day. Right. Music videos. Kind of day.
Yes. But then there are days where you're like, yes, let's do it. Let's go. Let's go to like do this, that, or the other. And it's genuinely fun time, like where you honor that energy level. Yeah. And then we accommodate the fun towards it. It's not that we have any less quality of fun, but it's the type of fun is different.
I think so. Because we both can have fun doing either of those things. Right. Like being active and out, or inside and chilling out.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I feel like, thankfully, we have the friendship where I feel like we get closer to who we are and we can see it, like who we want to be, I mean. Yes.
I can see it for you. I can see it for myself too, but it's almost like, because we've been in our friendship for the amount of years of like a lot of our growth, Because that was something I was thinking about as we were talking. I'm like, yes, we want to glow up more. And yes, we have a vision of ourselves we're trying to attain. But gosh, we've already come a long way. Just generally speaking, what, the 3.5 years we met? 2019? 19? Yeah. So since we've been friends for about 3.5 years, I think we've really seen the growth in ourselves and in each other, you know, because when we met in like 2019, I don't even think we were even able to see the versions of ourselves we want to be.
No, not even close. At least not for me. Not for me. Like I could see it, I'm like, this girl is gonna go far. Like legit, I was like, what is with her? Like, what is with this girl? Like,
these were my thoughts about her.
Like, I was like genuinely so curious, because I was like, how is it that you like went straight from your bachelor's, you got your master's, you're doing so well like in your job, and at the time I didn't know how unhappy she was at her job, but like just striving, and how you always were like, all right, I can do better. Not to say like you were discounting what you were doing now, but you're like, I have the ability to do better, so I will. And I'm just like, this girl is crazy. But then you're also like so fun, and you had so many different interests and things like that, and I was just like, this is insane. And then like, no, it was like really so confusing to me, like in the best kind of way. So it's funny because I felt like I knew that you were gonna go far.
And for yourself though?
For myself, I was like, I don't even know where I'm going, let alone how far I'll go. Does that make sense?
And it's like, when I first met you, if you had told me you had a huge like platform, which you have your platform, but I'm in my head, like I almost saw the version of you that you're maybe now seeing. I'd already seen it, just because of, I don't even know if it's what you exude, but you draw people in. Like you definitely do, in a good way. Like you almost like
versus luring them.
All creepy, like no, but just generally like people want to get to know you. Like I wanted to instantly, I was like, I want to get to know her. Like she's literally glowing in just a sense of like a general person I would want to know. And I think like because of that energy, when you told me you had a YouTube channel, when you told me like you were doing like lifestyle coaching and just so many of the different things that you did, it made sense. Because I'm like, instantly you're the kind of person who I would go to advice for, or who I would want to like do something with in terms of like, yeah, let's glow up together, or let's like do a marathon or whatever it is that we're gonna do together. It's just that sense of like, I don't even know, attraction in that way. Like you definitely was someone who I wanted to get to know better. And I feel like I always saw you in that light, because I'm like, how is everybody else not going to see that? So I don't know that you've never had it. I think that it thing that I've told you about, like worked, I was just like, oh, she, no, but really just, and I think what you didn't realize is for a while, like in that group of our, because we met in an event. I should preface that. We met in an event with a group of other girls
and everything,
And when I first met her, I actually was talking to a friend that she came with, and we got up to the table, and there was a group of girls around the table, and literally like Phoebe was cracking jokes. She was like getting the whole group laughing. Yeah, seriously.
I don't remember this at all.
I do. And that's how I was like, I'm texting her after this event. Like I want to be her friend. Like, and here we are.
Yeah.
So I had always seen it.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Like literally, because it's funny, because when you recount this story, like even now I'm like, I don't remember the joke part. I don't think we've ever talked about that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But genuinely, like I think at that point, I at the time was at the lowest I had ever been. At the time,
would have never known.
I went a little bit lower after that, but genuinely, like I was like not, like I don't know. I just felt off about myself.
Yeah.
Like something, like there's a lot of healing that had to happen, like just like mental health and everything like that. So I definitely wasn't like in the full version of myself, if that makes any sense, or as full as I was in my memory of like in the past, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like for me, that is crazy that you were able to see all that.
I was, and it gives me chills that you just literally said I wasn't even in my full potential. You basically just were like, I wasn't even my full self. So for me to have seen that and you weren't in your full self, like,
okay.
Are we doing the math?
Oh, she does this thing.
Are we doing that math? Are we all on the same page? I don't know. My intuition is very strong. And
yeah, she does have really.
I do. And I've always just, I would love to look back on this video when you have kind of gotten more into like physically seeing who you are becoming,
like the manifestation
of it in the real, like 4D, as we say.
We're in the 4D.
In the 4D.
Yeah.
Because it'll be cool to because I'm like so confident about it that you are gonna be that person, and it's just time. It's just a matter of time.
Oh my god, thank you.
Cash it in.
Cash it in. You're like, I'm gonna get my bets now. Thank you. Oh my gosh. No, that's like, honestly, that is really encouraging to hear.
Yeah.
Because it is hard, because like, I think everyone's like that. Because you're so in it.
Yeah.
You can't see all the potential, really. Like, you can feel like you might have more potential, and you're like, I really want to do this, and you can have a vision of yourself.
Yeah.
But knowing that someone, even at one of your lowest points,
so awesome.
was able to see anything.
That's so crazy.
Like, of potential, when you're like, this is it for me, I peaked.
Yeah.
Like, that, I'm beyond grateful for. And like, genuinely, I tell you almost every other day how grateful I am for this friendship, genuinely. Because it was just, I don't know, like, because I feel like in our friendship, I've said genuinely so many times. Honest to goodness, I think that I've grown so much being your friend.
Yeah, same.
Like, in the last 3.5, 4 years.
Yeah.
Than I've ever grown, ever. And like, as far as like a condensed period of time.
Yeah.
Especially as an adult.
Yeah. I've seen you try new things you've never tried. Like, I've always loved running. She's not been a fan of running. And you started training on your own, and then you were like, yeah, let's run together. And then next thing you know, she was like, this running thing isn't so bad. I can do hard things. And I'm like,
yeah.
Who is she?
Yeah.
Who is she? And just in general, seeing you step out into like different fields that have been, like, you've shut off before. Like, oh, I don't even want to think about that, or I don't even want to go there. And like allowing yourself to dream bigger. Because I think we've acknowledged that we both kind of have that fear of like, well, yes, what if we fail, but what if we succeed?
I know, because there's like, almost like a responsibility.
Yeah.
Insert Spider-Man here. Like, you know.
You should insert like a clip or something. Like, Spidey.
But like, oh, with great power comes great responsibility. Yes. That kind of thing. So you're like, oh, if I get there, like, what does that mean for my life? And I think a lot of the times, though, like, we think about it in terms of us now being in the situation of then. Like, because we don't have the capacity for that. You know what I mean?
That is really good. Yeah.
Versus like, okay, but do you realize you'll also grow in strength in that route?
Wow.
So why is it scary?
Because you'll be able to handle it in that space.
Yeah. But now, you probably won't.
Yeah. Right. The youth for that moment will be ready.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
So like.
That's good.
So like, that's really good. I mean, and it's something that I don't think about often, as far as like, oh yeah, the future me will be ready for this, because obviously I'm thinking about me now. And I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't do that.
For sure.
But yeah, it's been really cool just genuinely trying to do new things that I like. And even like branching out in the ways of like, one thing you're good at is like just building a community. Like, as much as I love people, like, you have a sticking power like no other.
It's true. Because sometimes I'm intentional. Like with you, I was intentional.
Yeah.
I think the majority of my friends, I was intentional. But I think that's because naturally I found that I had to be, because I wasn't gonna just like, I don't think I ever stuck out enough to be like how I felt you stuck out. Like for people to draw, for me to draw in people, if that makes sense. It's more so like me intentional to be like, I like so and so, I'm gonna like make an effort and reach out.
Yeah.
So that's funny that you say that, my sticking power, because I guess like it works after the fact. Like once they, like, ooh, I do like her. Like, like, we're gonna be friends one day. Scheming in the background.
So I attract you, Lore.
We gotta put labels to things.
Oh my gosh. No, but you do. And the thing is, like, the way you nurture friendships, even if it's like, you and I, we're in contact way more often than I think a lot of our friends, like,
literally we talk pretty much every day.
Yeah. And
and it doesn't even, I don't think we talk long, but we just touch base every day.
We do. Like, we do gratitudes every day. Yes. Like, we share gratitudes with each other every day. And then sometimes that spirals into other conversation.
Yeah.
But the way you, like, genuinely nurture, and it's also too, we talked about this too before on our long trip to Tennessee.
10-hour drive.
It was
that
fun.
This gal did all by herself. I'm so impressed.
It was so much fun.
My gosh.
Mine is going downhill all the way back.
That part was not
That was
fun.
scary.
And we couldn't even see around just around the corner.
No,
Could not see. That was not cool.
But like you had mentioned how you have this love of connecting people, like almost like genuinely like a spider webbing people, like creating like a network and a genuine community of people who know each other and people who you think would be of benefit to each person, if that makes any sense. And not everyone has that capability. Like I don't think I do. You know, at least not right now.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's learned, but you have that innate ability to do that.
Right.
And I think that you were saying before, like you not analyze, but you observe people.
Yeah.
Early
in the
on.
beginning, yeah.
And
probably because in the end I'm gonna be like, oh, is this something I want to
like
reach out for the person?
Right.
Yeah.
But then even still you're like, this is what I've learned of this person, this is my first impressions. So and so might also have that first impression of her. They might get along with them like really well. And I'm just so in awe of that. Because I'm like, that's the one thing I would love to be able to do. And I think maybe that part of me is like atrophied a bit. Because I know personally, like speaking of before, like I have had that very shy tendency. Or I'm not extroverted, but like more outgoing in certain contexts. I'm not universally outgoing. So for you, just being like, hey, I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to meet this person, and I'm going to follow through. I'm going to make them stick forever and ever and ever. And now I'm also going to connect them with this other.
I don't say that part.
Out loud.
We did some progress today for work, though. We did. Got through that podcast episode.
Yeah.
Which was really nice. And then I published an invoice for tenant.
Ooh, okay.
That was good. That was like one of my things. I figured out the research on eyelash. I did. I even booked an appointment.
Oh, you did?
I so did.
When did that happen?
Right after my shower.
Oh, really?
I thought about it, and I was like, I was like, I'm gonna sleep on this. I'm gonna sleep on this. And then my shower, I was like,
showering is the same as sleep.
Potato.
Yeah.
Potato.
Sleep. You can't sleep.
Keep it in a little case.